Hello and welcome to Go Ballistic, where we'll look back at all the weekend Premiership action with SunSport columnist Kris Boyd, and we'll look ahead to tomorrow's Champions League qualifier at Hampden between Rangers and Dynamo Kiev. I'm Roger Hanna, with me today Gareth Law. Gareth, you made your league debut at Hampden with Rangers at the weekend to beat Motherwell 2-1. What did you make of the performance and of the whole spectacle of Rangers playing a league game at the National Stadium?
Yeah, interesting experience, Roger. Taking Rangers' performance, I thought Rangers' first half started the way Philippe Clement would have wanted them to. I was at Tynecastle the previous week when they took a long time to get into the game. They were on the front foot from the start on Saturday and deservedly were ahead. The thing with Rangers right now, I think, is their defence. I still don't think, for all that they played well, and we'll maybe come on to Vaclav Černý in a minute, but I just think their defence still looks vulnerable at the moment. So for all the sort of building blocks going forwards, the signs there, I just think, talking about tomorrow night, that they can be got at. Not to say that they can't win tomorrow night, but I just think there's always a goal. They're always kind of looking like they're capable of conceding a goal somewhere down the line. It happened against Motherwell when Robin Proper scored the own goal. They needed Jack Butland to produce a brilliant save to stop Motherwell getting a draw. Motherwell came back into things in the second half deservedly and played well considering they missed so many players. But I think there's still a bit of work to do there, but there are positive signs on the way, I would say.
You said we'll touch on Vaclav Černý. What did you make of his performance? It was the first start in the Rangers jersey and a winning goal.
Yeah, I thought he was very, very good. As you say, it was his first start. So Philippe Clement talked about this afterwards. He's not fully match fit for 90 minutes yet, but he was excellent. And I don't think it was any coincidence that when he went off just before the hour mark, after that was when Rangers, as an attacking force, kind of retreated a little bit. And they weren't quite as effective. So yeah, I mean, he produced a brilliant pass that created a Rangers chance before they scored. His goal, we've all seen it, top class finish. So Philippe Clement talked about afterwards that he's only just getting started, and he's looking forward to having him for the 90 minutes. He also didn't confirm he'd be ready for tomorrow night. Also afterwards. Yeah. Vaclav Černý himself said afterwards he's ready to play. I think Clement was just being a bit kind of careful because he hadn't spoken to the player, hadn't spoken to his medical staff. But I think there could be a lot to come from Vaclav Černý this season, I think.
What was the whole Hampden experience like? What was the atmosphere like compared to a home game at Ibrox?
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I think it was. Rangers settled very, very quickly. They looked very much at home. I don't think it was quite as. We've all been at Hampden. It's not like the same kind of structure as an Ibrox on a game day. But the fans were all in there. There was a good atmosphere. They got the branding up and everything like that to sort of show that it was a different day to a Scotland game or a cup final. So I think it worked well. I think that certainly from our side of things and certainly from a whole match day experience, I think the flit worked well. You wouldn't have known it was the first one. There didn't seem to be any teething problems or anything like that. So I think in terms of the whole thing around the game, it worked well. They've obviously got their first win there now, so that's the kind of, if they hadn't got the win on the weekend, people would have been saying, is this move working? When are they going to get their first win? So I think that was a big relief to Philippe Clement as well. He could park that.
And will they get another win tomorrow night? Will they get through to the Champions League playoff round against either Salzburg or FC20?
Yeah, I think they probably will. I think it could be a long night for Rangers fans possibly. I think, but particularly as I say, if Černy's there, I think Černý could be he obviously had an impact coming off the bench as well in the first leg. So I think if he's starting already, I think he could be a key player for Rangers this season, including tomorrow night.
We'll wait and see, Gareth. Thanks very much. Here we go. We can now go to Kris Boyd to look back in the weekend's action. Now, listen, this is great news for all the viewers, all the listeners. You might score 100 goals for Rangers. You might score 100 goals for KIllie. You might be in Sky Sport. You might be the Scottish Sun's columnist, but you still get sent for the shopping on a Monday morning, Boydie.
100%. It's the quietest time of the week, though, isn't it? Get in there, get it done, and get back up the road. It makes sense.
Dear. They're not
By
been
the way,
many Hibs fans.
we ain't talking about what's in the shopping bags anyway, that's for sure.
Okay, I'll leave that. That's between you and Mr. Sainsbury judging with those orange bags. Other supermarkets are available, of course. There are not been many Hibs fans going for the shopping this morning. Will they be hiding after a performance at Easter Road yesterday?
When you look at it overall, I mean, especially the first half, I thought Celtic were very good, and then controlled the game the second half. And there is no doubt that, I mean, Celtic right now are the top team in the country, the way they've started the season. But from a Hibs point of view, you know, we touched on it at the weekend. Obviously, a disappointing result against St Mirren and performance against St Mirren, I may add. You're then back-to-back against Celtic and a very tricky game against Dundee at Easter Road because of the way that the season has started. And then you've got a trip to Rugby Park, who themselves have got their own trouble. So, I mean, I think from a Hibs point of view, obviously brought in a few players. I thought Bowie, when he came on, actually looked okay. Might be a good signing. He was a big, powerful boy. Looked as if, you know, he puts himself about, and he could be a real asset. I hope he is. You know, in terms of, you know, youngsters, you know, you want to give them the best opportunity, you know, to perform in Scotland, and hopefully that is the case. You know, I've said it before. Hibs is a great club for people, for players to, you know, for that platform to move on to bigger and better things. But that's not been the case in recent years, Roger. I think when you look at Hibs, they have, you know, get caught up in this trap basically of, you know, every player that they've brought in, they've looked to move on for millions, and, you know, it's not really worked. I think, you know, we spoke about expensive packages in the weekend, and I touched on it yesterday in the show as well. I think when you look at, you know, Hibs and what they've spent, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Dylan Vente is away before the end of this window as well. That's another player that was spent an absolute fortune on, and, you know, he's hardly produced. It's all well scoring 3 goals against Elgin in the cup and stuff like that, but, you know, I think for Hibs to kick on to that next level, you know, they need to be doing it in the Scottish Premiership. And there's a lot of hard work for David Gray to do between now and basically getting Hibs' season up and running, because you look at this weekend as well, you go to Celtic Park, it's going to be difficult for them there. And then, as I said, those next 2 fixtures, they're 2 teams you don't want to face when you're in you've not started the season. Great. But Roger, I will add to that. I'm not for 1 minute suggesting that David Gray's under pressure. I think Hibs is a football club. Obviously, they've brought in Malky Mackay as well to oversee everything and help whenever there's needed there. I think collectively, Hibs need to do better from top to bottom, you know, because you want to see your big clubs in Scotland doing well. And I don't expect David Gray to be under any pressure. When the time comes when he is under pressure will be when the fans turn. And as I said, we touched on it, the hierarchy decide that they have to protect themselves again.
The 2 takeaways from Celtic: the outstanding performance and goal from Callum McGregor just a couple of days after he retired from Scotland duty, and another shoulder injury for Kyogo. Will that concentrate minds at Celtic Park about getting in another striker, Adam Ida, and maybe another striker after that, Boydie?
I think when you look at Celtic, you know, they've got strength and depth all over the pitch, apart from that, you know, number 9 role as such. Kyogo has been fantastic for Celtic since he arrived. You know, it was actually interesting yesterday. I think Brendan Rodgers touched on that. You know, it popped in and they managed to get it back. It popped out and they managed to get it back in again. So, I mean, I think that suggests to me that there is an ongoing issue. You know, I'm not a medical expert, but I think when it's popping out as easy as that and you're able to get it back in, there must be a lot of freedom around the shoulder, which would be a worry for Celtic. But at the same time, if they're able to get it back in and knit it together quickly, then, you know, Kyogo, he's one of these funny ones. He seems to go down quite a lot, but never seems to be out injured. You know, I think that he's someone who, I think, since he's arrived, his goals, his movement, and this season as well, I think he's looking at it. His movement is first class. I thought he should have passed that one yesterday. That's a cheat coming from me when he went through. I thought he should just have slipped it to Kuhn in the right hand side, but decided to take the shot on. And I must mean James Forrest and Nicholas Kuhn, the follow up to obviously for Celtic's first goal. It's just, a determination to go and get something at the end of it when you know, by the way, there's a good chance that I might not get this. You've got a striker running down and goal, and you think to yourself, I've no chance of getting a pass here. But the both of them continued to go because there might have been scraps at the end. That's exactly what happened. Touched on Callum McGregor, fantastic strike. I think Hibs were a little bit disappointed that he didn't get closer to him, but what a strike it was. But going back to it, with Kyogo's injury, obviously Mikey Johnston came through went through the middle. He had to go off with a head knock, so we hope he's okay. You don't want to see anybody get injured. And, Celtic will be boosted by the return of Dyson Maeda as well. Maybe the Celtic board will look at it and say, well, Maeda plays through the middle for Japan. There's a role for him there. We've got plenty of wingers. Dyson Maeda might be the man to fill Kyogo's boots if he goes out, but I do expect them to get the Adam Ida deal tied up pretty well soon.
I look at the other games yesterday. St Johnstone's biggest away league win in 6 years, 3-0 at KIllie. Does that say as much about what KIllie are going through just now in terms of the pressure, the mental pressure, the physical pressure of their European campaign?
I think it does. There's no doubt that Derek McInnes, when the fixtures came out, would have looked at that one and thought, yeah, we've got European. We obviously go to Celtic Park, but we've got European games. But St Johnstone at home for Kilmarnock really should be a game that they should be at least picking up a point from. But take nothing away from Craig Levein and his two strikers. They were excellent, caused Kilmarnock all sorts of problems. But Kilmarnock, they weren't helped by Joe Wright. I have no idea what he's doing. No idea. You're booked after 2 minutes for trying to grapple with the striker. You pull him back, all of a sudden you're in the book as a centre back, right of a three. With the pace that St Johnstone have got up front, you run the risk, and then 10 minutes later, or what was it, 16 minutes, I think he gets sent off. So 14 minutes later or something like that, he lunges in and costs his teammates. It's already difficult. Derek McInnes has spoken about, the squad being stretched to the max right now, and then you're asked to go and play the remainder of the game with 10 men. It's difficult enough. And I really don't know what Joe Wright was thinking about. Yes, he could be eager to go and get the ball and everything, but even if you win it, what's he going to do? He's nowhere near the goal. He's out in the touchline. To go and dive in, it's just stupidity. But listen, I think Craig Levein, he spoke about his team's performance last Monday night. I didn't agree with it. He thought they played really well. I didn't agree with that, but what I did agree with is, his team played really well this week. To go to Rugby Park, get a 3-0 victory. We've spoken about Kilmarnock down to 10 men, but you've still got to go and take advantage of that. And that's exactly what they did.
Aberdeen 3-1 against St Mirren yesterday. Again, St Mirren, like KIllie, coming back off a strenuous European game in the Thursday night. But take away the tears of Bojan Miovski at the final whistle, looks as if he'll seal his big money move to Girona in the next day or two.
I've got to be honest, Roger, he does deserve it. I think he's been excellent since he's arrived in Scottish football. Not only his goals, and I think sometimes as strikers, we focus on what has he done in front of goal, but even his performance against St Johnstone on Monday night, I thought was excellent. His all-round game, his hold-up play, he knew when to pass it, he knew when to take it in, he knew when to buy free kicks. I just thought it was a really, really, really professional striker's performance on Monday night. Albeit, listen, he got a standing ovation yesterday, a cameo appearance at the end. And I think from Aberdeen, from a point of view, to allow me for that to happen, I think it's a really good thing. Who would have thought I'd been praising Aberdeen for anything, Roger? But I think it's been a good start to the season for them. That's for sure. I think that players that we've forgotten about, obviously on the score sheet yesterday as well. Guy, I thought his header was excellent. The way he went attacked it. Jamie McGrath. Well, there's always been something there with him, but I think he's shown it towards the end of last season and the start of this season. He's been excellent, and obviously 2-2 for him as well. So it's been a good start for Aberdeen. I'd love to say long may it continue, but I'd be lying.
Looking back to Saturday, a mixed bag for the two league debutants for Rangers. The own goal for Robin Proper and a smashing goal for Václav Černý in that 2-1 win against Motherwell. Just what Rangers need probably ahead of Kiev tomorrow night.
Well, Kiev played this weekend. Obviously picked up a 2-1 victory. But looking at Rangers, the first half, I thought they were really good, really good. Created a few chances, looked as if they were on the front foot. Albeit they could have fell behind to Lennon Miller's. He had a great chance, I must add. But when you look at Dessers was another goal as well. I'm not sure that Diamonde meant the assist right enough. I'm sure it was a header on goal, but the old shoulder back across and Dessers was there to tap it in. But Roger, I don't know about yourself, but I think Czerny looks as if he's a real find for Rangers. He looks a really intelligent footballer coming in off that right-hand side. I thought at Tynecastle and even it was in Poland against Kiev that maybe he was too clever a footballer to play that role for Rangers, because Dessers likes to go in behind. Czerny looks as if he's somebody who's going to come off that right-hand side and look to bounce, try and get 1-2s off the striker, try and get 1-2s off of Tom Lawrence. But I thought on Saturday, the position he picked up for the goal off, great ball by James Tavernier, but you can see right away the way he gets the ball and receives it on the half turn. He's already thinking, how can I get to goal as quickly as possible? And as soon as he gets it there, he's able to move it on his left foot and what a strike it is into the far corner. But again, I touched on it at Tynecastle with Rangers. The top teams in every country seem to dominate the ball for large spells. I'm not really seeing that from Rangers at this moment in time, Roger, and it's something I'm sure that Philip Clement will want to improve on. Their ball retention, they want to keep the ball a lot better. They want to keep the ball for longer spells. It might just be the way that Rangers are playing. They like to get it forward and ask the teams to defend with the way that Dessers likes to run the channels and get the team up there. But I think if Rangers are going to improve, they need to keep the ball a lot better and for longer spells and tire the team out and move it about. But going back to the own goal, I'm not really sure there's much that Proper could do about it, but it was a proper finish.
Certainly was. You touched upon Rangers at Tynecastle the previous week. What happened to Hearts at Dens Park on Saturday night?
Everybody, I think when you listen to everybody since that game, all we've heard from everybody, Rangers were rubbish at Tynecastle. Well, they were that rubbish that Hearts couldn't beat them. So, everybody's perception of Hearts was that they played really well. Why did they not win the game? So, when you look at from last Saturday to this weekend for them, it was a big drop off in terms of Stephen Naismith decided to change the formation. And listen, sometimes that can happen. Jan Danda, I thought, done really well last week. He decided to take him out, went free at the back, and it just didn't work. But again, I think a lot of that was down to Dundee. Tony Dock's performance at Tannadice the week before, his team's performance, it was a bit iffy. I thought the first half they struggled to deal with Dundee United, but the second half, they really started to grow in momentum and were able to take the game to Dundee United, and they've carried that on this week. The start they had, it just blew Hearts away, didn't it? But we praised Taylor last week for his performance. Very, very lucky to stay in the field this week, Roger.
Lastly, Ross County won, Dundee United won. I was up at Dingwall at the weekend. I spent longer in the car on Saturday than you have for this interview this morning. The takeaway, maybe, Ronan Hale. It looks as if he's going to score goals in the Scottish Premiership for County.
And the thing that I noticed as well that stood out to me, Roger, was he missed a few chances, but he kept on going back for more. And I think for me, that's the sign of someone who's not prepared to shy away from the responsibilities. If they've missed a few chances, he'll get himself in positions. I thought when he came back off the goalkeeper, he done really well to get there and just nick it ahead of him. But penalty from Eamon Brothwick wasn't the best, was it? Good save, right enough, but it wasn't the best. And you just felt as if Dundee United, Babinski with another goal, you just thought that maybe it was going to be a really good 3 points for them in the Highlands, but it wasn't to be. And Ross County just kept on knocking on the door. And we're able to eventually get through that door, basically. And good finish from Hill, I must say. But I think the story of that match, were you in your seat when Miller Thompson decided to clearly stand with that sitter?
Unbelievable. There won't be a bigger sitter missed this season. 11 seconds on the big clock in the Global Energy Stadium. You're just waiting in the net rippling, and I think they're still looking for the ball.
Van der Sande done really well, but from a Ross County, imagine Don Cowie's done his work, he's prep all week, building up to that game, and then you get caught in the ball, you kick it off. Van der Sande, he does really well. Maybe he should have got his shot away, but once he goes round the goalkeeper, you think yourself, rolls it across. It would have been 2-2 for Muller, but it wasn't to be. And that one was easier than the one last week. But he concentrated in the one last week. I felt as if it was just laid back, as if I'm just going to as long as I make contact with this, it's going in the back of the net. And it just shows it doesn't matter how good a finish you are, you've got to be concentrated at all times, especially when that ball's coming across you. Get your body over it and get it into the back of the net. Who would have thought on a Monday morning you would have got a striker discussing how you should be finishing?
Exactly. A Kris Boyd goal scoring tutorial for all our Go Ballistic viewers on a Monday morning. Broidy, as ever, it's a pleasure. I know you need to get back. Those cornetos need to get into the freezer pronto. Thanks very much.
Twisters.
Well, thanks again for watching. We'll be back with Go Ballistic on Friday, looking ahead to a weekend of Premier Sports Cup second round games. Well, also in midweek, you'll have Robert Grieve and Bill Leckie with Coffee Club FC. You can see it all on all of the Scottish Sun's social media platforms. And of course, subscribe to the Scottish Sun Sport YouTube channel. Thanks as ever for watching.